is Samantha Lovejoy, and my presentation today will be on attention deficit hyperactive disorder, also known as ADHD. The National Institute of Mental Health defines attention deficit hyperactive disorder as being marked by an ongoing pattern of inattention and/or hyperactivity impulsivity that interferes with functioning or development. There are some questions people can have about ADHD and how someone can be affected by it. One of those questions is ADHD genetic or environmental? It is genetic, and one statistic states that males are twice as likely to get ADHD compared to females from clevelandclinic.org. And what are some developmental milestones? One of them is being able to pay attention to more assignments in a classroom setting. And to be able to do that, they need to find an education plan that works for them so they can have their own version of success, whatever that looks like for them in their lives and in their education. When I was doing research on developmental milestones, there weren't any concrete answers because ADHD looks so different for everyone. The only suggestions I was given is if the teacher can work with the student to make sure they have a catered plan to them. And is ADHD a prenatal condition? Yes, it can be due to the family's genetics. So even though symptoms begin to appear in childhood, development early on, before the child is even born, but it is still developing, they can still have stages of development that can lead to ADHD, according to the National Library of Medicine. And when it comes to screening and assessment, there are predictors. As stated in the previous slide, genetics play a big role in a child developing with ADHD. And another predictor is comorbidity, and that is the simultaneous presence of two or more diseases or medical conditions in a patient, according to Oxford Languages. According to this chart from advancedpsychiatryincorporated.com, people 75% of who are included in 75% of the chart have ADHD, also have at least one other condition. People with ADHD have also been seen to have other conditions such as anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, as well as many more. When it comes to behaviors, there are many to look out for. Some that are common, according to the CDC, are often fails to pay attention, had trouble keeping attention, and does not seem to listen often when being spoken to. And as you can see, there is a long list of other behaviors because this condition has some patterns when it comes to appearing in different children and their actions, but they can also have completely different effects when it comes to a child and how they act. When it comes to a classroom setup, learning how to have an organized environment can help children with ADHD. That is where organizational strategies come in. They learn time management, planning skills, and ways to keep school materials organized in order to optimize student learning and reduce distractions. When it comes to materials, a structured schedule can always be good for a child so they know what to expect. Checklists, even if they have a lot of things on their checklist. They can make them into shorter assignments, which is the next thing listed. So then it's not as overwhelming for them and they don't get distracted during the assignments. When it comes to program considerations, as we stated in the previous slide, there are classroom setups with organizational strategies and physical space being organized for less distractions. When it comes to behavior management strategies, there's teacher-led approach, so the teacher can show examples, show how to do an assignment, and then wait for the child to follow up and demonstrate what they learned so the teacher can see where the child needs help, and encourages students' positive behaviors through reward system or report card. That way, the parents at home, as well as administrators, can see the growth the child is going through or areas they need help on. And speaking of administration, their support can be seen through accommodations from the school, through one of two laws, which is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, according to the CDC. And these are my sources that I used for all of my research on ADHD and where I gathered all of my statistics.